Hello, everybody, and welcome to a not very original opening because we have a guest this week. Say hello to Dakota Broski.
Hi, how's it going? It's me, Dakota Broski. Broski.
That was the worst intro I've ever heard from you. You have had much better intros.
You should feel bad about yourself, honestly. Like, that was really...
To be fair,
the rest of us...
We're never having a TikToker on here ever again, I swear.
Imagine having fucking TikTokers on this fucking podcast, bruv. Alright,
Say bro.
thanks to Dakota, I know what we're starting with today. So...
It's so cool that they don't know who's actually here. It's just, apparently, it's just Dakota Broski.
It's just the Canadian and the black.
The actual hosts are apparently not going to be...
Why would you let the guests?
The two guests are going to...
Fine. Hi,
Why are the two guests getting to talk about? But the two hosts don't get talked about.
Evan is Evan. Dickie is a dick. So...
Hi, everyone. You're looking very submissive and breedable.
Stop.
That is just terrible. That is just terrible.
You're only allowed to make that joke when you're hosting.
No, but we do have a guest here today. It is the TikTok famous Dakota Broski.
Thank you, Evan, for picking up the slack on Steve's part.
You genuinely are famous on TikTok now. How does that feel, actually?
I hate every fiber of my being that this is it. This is it. 10 years of grinding myself on YouTube to make some kind of platform for myself, and in a week get famous on TikTok for doing fucking hentai videos. You'd love to see it.
And you peaked. This is what you were born to do. You were born to be a TikToker, bud. You should have done Vine like back in the day. If you did Vine back in the day, you would have fucking... I
did do Vine back in the day, though. You gotta understand.
Well, you should have done it better.
You're right. I should have.
You should have talked about hentai.
Thank God that website's dead. You can't see any of like my old Vines. They're bad.
All right. Anybody got the Wayback Machine for Dakota?
Dakota Broski's Vines.
Let's go.
Okay, speaking of the Wayback Machine, how many of the three of you watch BuzzFeed Unsolved?
I watched like 1 or 2 episodes in the past.
I don't think I've ever seen a BuzzFeed Unsolved.
I don't watch BuzzFeed.
Do you like watching your BuzzFeed when you have your pumpkin spice latte?
People who don't even watch BuzzFeed.
Podcast,
No, it's not. I'm just trying to tell a story. This is really funny, and it is relevant to what you said when you walked in.
I can go into our own Discord. Like, he just does this on normal. Like, it's like, hey, it's like, oh man, I really love the third movie of, Alien, and Steve's like, oh shit, did you also know that was also inspired by that one fucking Sentai thing?
Literally relevant to what you were talking about, Dakota. Oh my god, okay.
Steve X.
It is a super popular show. I'm not the insane one here. It's very popular. All you really need to know is they go ghost hunting a lot. And they released an episode recently where they were in a house and they went, listen to this amazing EVP that we captured. This very clear whistling. And it plays the clip. And then he asks, is that the ghost of Aaron Burr whistling? And I went... No, fuckers, that was the Andy Griffith theme. Like, straight up. It's just someone whistling the Andy Griffith theme. And then he goes, was that the ghost of Aaron Burr?
That is just
and I lost my shit. I was like, I cannot believe this. Their most compelling piece of evidence ever is somebody on their crew downstairs whistling the Andy Griffith theme.
Yeah. I'm from North Carolina, so I don't know if that has something to do with it, but like I unironically will watch like episodes of Andy Griffith like before I go to bed.
It's a good show.
That and the Martin Comedy Hour.
Hell yeah.
I watch the D Martin Comedy Hour before I go to bed too.
If you're colorblind, does watching black and white shows just mean you're just watching television in general?
Most colorblind people can still see most colors.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like people can be really offended by that, but there's not that many colorblind people that will be offended by it. So like, it's a small army. We can take them.
I feel like
hypothetical for the week. How many colorblind people do you think you could take in a fight at once?
You guys gotta understand, I'm an accidental TikToker. Like, I don't want to be a TikToker. I'm trying to get myself canceled.
That's how it is, though, right? Like, you kind of like get into something, and like whatever you try the hardest at usually isn't what works. It's what you just don't try at.
Yeah, it's what you accidentally happen. Yeah, no, I made a So for this, I guess we'll go to transition into my TikTok career of
tell us about your TikTok career, Dakota.
Yeah, so let me pull up the fucking creator. I got approved with the creator fund a day late because I didn't get all the views from that. But
can't cash in on your 3 million views on TikTok, dude.
yeah,
What's it gonna make you like 17 cents?
Honestly, it's like it is like a weird like number, isn't it? Because it's like a
Oh, TikTok people make no money unless like you're like sponsored by someone. That's the only way
Yeah.
you make money doing TikTok. That's why like some of my favorite TikTokers literally like 500, 600,000 people to follow them. They make nothing off of it because like no one sponsor them.
I had a sponsor reach out to me for the YouTube channel, and they were like, "Hey, we want to sponsor you for your if you want to put us in your video. We loved your last video." The typical like, "Hey, we watched your this video you recently put out." Bullshit ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, that's cool and all, but like, TikTok kind of blew up. Do you want to go over there and like pay me more?"
You want to
I've
sponsor
made-
a TikTok?
So from this October 27th to now, or until the 5th, I've made $50 off of TikTok.
Wow.
See, that doesn't. Please cut out the sneeze.
No.
Keep it in.
Wow. Anyway,
Oh well,
that doesn't
Steve's
make
editing
sense
this
to
one.
me.
You guys heard it. Steve's editing first.
No, you're editing this one.
Nope. They said Steve.
No,
that-
you.
That doesn't make
They
sense to
didn't.
me, right?
Hands are clean.
Whatever.
Hands are clean.
That doesn't make sense to me because, like,
I'll
on
do it. I need
YouTube per
work.
se, right? Like on YouTube,
unemployed.
your like 3 million views would have probably gotten you closer to like 10,000.
Well, you gotta understand too, because they're like 5-second videos, 50-second videos. So like the view,
Yeah.
it's like views
Yeah.
per minute or like money per minute is like way different on TikTok than it is
That's
on
true.
YouTube.
That is true.
Yeah, so it's like 1,000 views or like 10 cents, I think, on TikTok compared to YouTube,
Yeah.
which is like a 10-minute video with 60,000 views would earn you like what, like 80
So-
bucks.
I uploaded like a YouTube Shorts recently, just I guess for comparison, and like the short got like 7,000 views, and it was about 30 seconds long, and that short ended up getting about $4, right?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I'm not gonna do the math on like how much, like, let's say your short or your TikTok was on YouTube and got the 3 million views, how much money that might get. But it definitely, I think, would be more on YouTube, right? Because YouTube has like the back end to be able to pay you for that,
Yeah.
which is just insane. But like, yeah, I mean, it's still something, you know.
Yeah. Also, Evan, Color Gang, LEDs, let's go.
Hey, dude, we are trash taste now with the trash
We are
taste.
not
Dickies,
the trash
White Gang.
taste.
Let's go.
I actually have like
Warm, fluorescent.
I have the light panels. I do have the light panels. The nano leaves. I just because I move so much, and they keep ripping my fucking.
I have
walls
no
when I
doubt
move,
that
I
Dickie
just
has
never
the
put
most
them on there.
expensive equipment in the room. And it's
He
like
definitely does.
living
He
room.
absolutely does.
He's like filming this on his
That's
red
not-
camera.
I don't use it to record though. Like that's not what I use to record. Like you use the correct equipment for different situations. I still won't go. I still go on shoots.
And then there's
will only shoot
YouTubers
on,
like
an
us.
A7 something.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like people who do this professionally for other people that like do the bare minimum for their own stuff for like just to get it done. And then there's YouTubers that this is all we own. Like if we want to film outside, all this shit is going outside.
Yeah, you gotta pick it up. You take it outside, dude.
Like that's it. Yeah.
Dakota, you have. I need the story of this one. You have the fuck. What is that? Why do you have Nagatoro cut out behind you?
Oh yeah, she's great, isn't she?
Yo, Nagatoro, meet Danny DeVito.
About the
Hey.
same height.
I love Nagatoro. I love it. I love her to death.
You saying
I
you
just
don't
don't
love
know
Danny
why.
DeVito?
No, actually, speaking of Danny DeVito, we're gonna go back to
Are we
the
doing
Nagatoro
it?
thing in a
Okay.
hot second. But like, no, so the convention Magfest. They always have a Danny DeVito, like a corner of like the area. It's like a Danny DeVito like shrine. So there's like cutouts and there's like images and there's all this shit of Danny DeVito and it's the craziest thing in the. Okay, bye, Steve. It's the but no, it's the funniest thing in the world. Like imagine like 15 square feet of just Danny DeVito things and it's insane.
That sounds terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. That just sounds like the place where I don't want to be.
How tall is Nagatoro?
We're actually trying to.
150
fucking-
centimeters. So how
Can we
many
just
is
talk about
that?
how this weave
How tall
really
is
did the
150
whole
centimeters
accent
in
too?
feet?
Like holy shit.
This was
5 feet 11. 4 feet 11. I'm sorry.
She towers. Oh no, she's the same height as
4
Danny
feet
DeVito.
11.
Yeah,
So 1 inch
she
taller.
towers over
She's
Evan.
1 inch taller than Danny DeVito.
Damn.
I love that.
She's
I love
5
that
inches
too.
taller than Evan. So
What? No, I'm taller than Danny DeVito, and the fucking Danny DeVito poster has like a 6 inch. No, I really am, because this has like 6 inches on it, right? So it should be 6 inches like shorter.
You would have
technically.
6 inches on Danny
I hope the
DeVito.
robot doesn't attack me.
You would have
again.
6 inches in Danny DeVito.
In Danny DeVito? No, on Danny DeVito, not in. Wait. Why are you saying in?
Why are you putting your dick on him? That's weird. Why do you have the Nagatoro cutout there? That's what I want to know.
Why?
Like,
'Cause
why
it's
and how? Like,
Nagatoro.
where did you
She's
even-
cute.
Where did you even get it?
I made it.
You didn't see this?
He did.
He did
He
it on
actually
stream.
Did. That.
Yeah,
So,
on
but
stream.
He,
I
he bought cardboard.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So, no, I
Out.
found cardboard in my garage.
found
I-
cardboard. That
For
thing's
some
nuts.
reason, I have like in the garage on the roof. There's like a little like scaffolding part. There's like 40 sheets of like 10 by 8 cardboard.
Why do you
And
have
it's
so
like-
much cardboard?
I don't know.
Why are you
but I
not
was like-
inviting us over to do a cardboard fort?
But I said, you know what? I can make a damn cutout out of that. So I said, okay, cool. I'll do a cutout. So I made Nagatoro. And then like,
Where did you
it's
get
like
the image though?
there's a website that does it for you. So you put the image in there, and it like blops it up to like the sheets in the printing style, and you can just print it off, and then you just like you glue it on.
Oh,
there,
so
you
this is
cut it
like
out
multiple
yourself.
sheets. This
Yep.
is like multiple sheets, and it's all. That's actually really cool,
Yeah.
but also
You can't see it from
slightly
now.
blurry.
And if I put an HD camera, if you saw it in person, you'd be like, okay, that's a sheet, that's a sheet, that's a sheet. But like on here, it's just a cardboard cutout.
Oh, okay.
That's
So, yeah.
true. It definitely does look good from a distance. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually really good.
Yeah,
It
in videos
definitely
it's
beats,
perfect. But like when you look at it in person, it's like, okay, obviously you made this. But in videos, people are like, where the fuck did you get that? And I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah, even on the
that's
TikTok
really
I'm
video,
just
good.
the
that was
only
my- that was my
loser in the
thing.
world that it's like I didn't get it anywhere. I'm just the only loser in the world that actually made a fucking Nagatoro cutout. So like that makes me unique, I guess.
That's the thing, because like I specifically called you that one day because I saw it on your TikTok, and I was like, "Do we need to talk about something? Like, how lonely are you right now that like you decided to get a cutout of a little anime girl?"
So let's bring this up. First of all, TikTok career. Nothing you need to know. I made a hentai joke video on the Teen Titans Z Toon. Remember the Z Toons?
Zone. Yeah. Zone.
Yeah, where
I
there was a
Zone
Teen
10
Titans
stuff, yes.
hentai, and I made a parody of somebody else's video. Do y'all know the guy who does the? Did you know? And Dune 2019, made in 2019. This actor here it's a movie fact TikToker.
I mean, I've never seen a TikTok, but I can imagine what it's like because
Oh,
there's like a
fuck
lot
you,
of those,
bullshit.
Right?
Anyway, so,
there's I've literally, listen. Have you seen my TikTok likes, dude?
I never seen one TikTok in my whole TikTok life. No, fuck you. So yeah, no. So I parodied that, and then it got like almost 4 million views, and that's when people started following me, and I said, well, I better emphasize on this. So I do TikTok like every day. I do like 2 or 3 a day, and it worked. Like I almost have like 100,000 followers, and like people are like saying, "Hey, you're my favorite creator." I'm like, I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude who like makes YouTube videos. I want to talk about manga on YouTube, and here I am making 5-second videos about watching hentai. Awesome, let's go. And but it is nice though. It's nice. I like it. I actually do enjoy making. I joke a lot about it, but like I'm actually really enjoying making TikToks every day, and I hope it does become something.
No, I mean, I'm glad that you you definitely have found like your success on TikTok, right? Because like I feel like
Define success.
you're
The people
definitely
are
doing-
there. The money's not there. But the
That-
fun
that
of
is
the
true.
The
people
money
are there.
will come.
So
Right.
the thing about TikTok, I feel, is there are two types of TikTokers, right? Like there are TikTokers who are definitely making lots of money on TikTok, and they're thriving because of it. But like a lot of those people are like the bigger creators now with like maybe 10 million followers and stuff. And then there are like people on TikTok who are verified with like 1-2 million followers who are making TikToks, somehow not making money. And still working their regular day jobs at like Subway or like Carl's Jr. And I'm like, how? You're like verified on TikTok and you have all these views and followers. Like, why is TikTok not paying you, right? So it's really weird. And I wish I understood TikTok more as a platform to understand how some creators like make so much money and some of them just make none.
Here's the thing. I think it's more based in that short form stuff. It's like super based in the type of content, because unlike your YouTube videos where typically the sponsors are like, talk about our product for 30 seconds in your video. It's more for these people on like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The sponsorships are like literally just have the product there. Like, do your normal cooking thing, but just show our product. You don't even have to say the name, just show it. And they make a shitload of money off of that. It's almost product placement. Because I saw this documentary about, like, these people who make their living that way. And this manager of a bunch of these boys all living in a house in LA was just like, here's what you're going to do for your video for Instagram. You're going to show these, like, 2 outfits. You're going to say, which one should I put on for school today? And then you're going to choose this one because they paid us more. And then you're going to swing on your JanSport backpack and show the logo when you put it on. And that's the end of the video. Like, you don't have to say where
you got
who they're actually by. You just show them. As if it's a totally normal day, and you're just like, oh, which Abercrombie and Fitch outfit am I going to wear? And that's it. And then you make a shitload of money off of that.
That's dangerous, though, I feel. Especially if you forget to, like, put, like, hashtag ad or whatever. The FCC will be on you.
Yeah,
that's actually illegal. You can't have a promo or an ad or anything without saying it's an ad. Like, there's... I went through a whole entire class.
It's crazy how much of, like, TikTok ads are a lot less strict than, like, YouTube ads too, because I've seen people that say, like, they do the whole, like, 3-minute video, and then at the very end they're like, which is why you should download fucking Buttfuck Simulator 2008. And it's like, but in YouTube world, you have to, like, do your intro, do a quick, like a minute or two, like, hey, you should download Buttfuck Simulator 2000, and, like, because of this, I downloaded this, and I did this, and I did that, yada yada yada, and, like, you got to do your whole video, and at the very end of it, you're like, also, don't forget to use this coupon code. I'll link to the description, yada yada yada. On TikTok, it's just like a quick little mention at the end of the video. That's it.
Yeah, there's different legalities to it. Even if you guys might remember this. I think it was around like 2014 to 2016 when sponsored videos were getting bigger and bigger. Maybe it was even earlier than that too on YouTube, because there were so many times like people would be having these ads and sponsored videos and they wouldn't say anything, and like it wasn't illegal. It took years for it to, like, and it had to physically go to Congress to be like, you need to, like, these are like the legal rules of if you were a sponsor, you need to say these things. And like a lot of people still get in trouble for it all the time, and it's at the point like it really depends on legality on if it's on the creator that is doing the ad or the person who is paying for the ad, like the company. Because a lot of times, like, someone I know, like the Jenners, like Kendall and Kylie, have like gotten companies in trouble so many times for like just not saying something was an ad. Like, you need the hashtag ad, like, and it also, for common law, like legality, it has to be one of the first hashtags or something as well. It can't be like buried away that you can't find it. It needs to be in the face, because like people,
because there is a stigmatism on any kind of social media platform, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. If you say because like, and correct me if I'm wrong, from you guys' experiences, like from a normal human interactive thing, if you click on a video and the first thing is, hey, this video is sponsored by Suck Simulator. And it's like, timeout, sponsored. Okay, sure, why not? Let's go through with it. Or you're like, okay, no, I don't want to deal with that. I'll skip ahead. But if somebody said, so yesterday I was using Suck Simulator, and like it just went on without you like knowing it was a sponsored video, you'd be like, okay, cool, that's fine, whatever. So like, I think a lot of creators in the beginning and now still try to cushion the fact that it's a sponsored video because they know it's gonna like leave a bad taste in a lot of viewers' mouth.
Yeah, I think it also depends what it is, because like you're not gonna in casual conversation bring up Raid Shadow Legends, like that's not gonna work. But I think there's definitely other times, like my favorite person, and the only person I will sit there and usually watch like a sponsored segment for is Linus Tech Tips, because I love how Linus will just dip into the sponsor. He's the best. He is the best delivery ever. He's
but
just like talking about some computer,
just now, right?
Yeah, just like today's sponsor, and it just goes into, you're like, Linus Sebastian, you got me again. What do I have to buy this time?
No, I think like in terms of like sponsorships on YouTube or whatever, there's definitely like my favorite sponsor segments are like stuff like what Danny Gonzalez does. I've noticed that he only takes sponsors that are willing to appear at the very end of his video. So
Valid,
like people
yeah.
will watch his entire video and then the sponsor will appear at the very end. But like to negotiate that like is probably really hard. I mean, obviously he has like 5 million subscribers or something like that. So he probably, you know, he's just like, well, I have the poll, my videos get millions of views. So if you want it or not, it's gonna appear at the end. And then they're probably like, okay, yeah, sure.
They definitely get to pay the person to pay him less though, because like
Yeah, they
he does
definitely
have
pay less for the end of the video for sure. Yeah.
He does have 5 million. You're 100% right. He has that leverage, but like the company has the leverage saying, okay, we'll just give it to someone else because there's other. They could the difference between giving it to a content creator that has 5 million versus one that has 1 million is so minimal because like you have to you have to look at your retention rate. Like Evan, like you know how it is like where you have this many subs but this many people watch it. Like there's a ton of people that have like 1 million or 2 million but get.
Are you trying to say that his views are down? Are you trying to say his YouTube channel's dying? What the fuck,
No,
Dickie?
I'm saying. Well, he's the person. He's actually the person who explained it to me. That's why I brought him.
Yeah.
Because like, that's the only reason I understood like the.
If we weren't
retention rate and
recording, you would
everything.
laugh your ass off. Fuck you.
No, it was in like podcast like it was on like episode like 2 or 3. Evan actually had to explain it to me because my dumbass was like, right.
I don't know. My favorite ad implementation is anybody who clearly timestamps the beginning and the end of the ad.
Dakota, are you drinking Natty Light again, or did you move on? Are you
I
becoming
was.
a big boy?
And then I turned
This
into
man unironically
this.
drinks.
Natty
He just
Light.
unironically
Yingling.
drinks. Well, Yingling's fine, but like this man unironically drinks Natty Light, and it really hurts me every single time. I see it.
Unironically, favorite beer.
We had a friend the
Unironically,
other day
you
call it
disgust
a
me.
natural light, and like Dickie and I broke. We're like, wait, what? What are you drinking? What?
Having a natural
Genuinely.
light, like
What?
why are you trying to act fancy? You're not fancy. You're having a Natty
Yeah.
Light, the cheapest beer ever. You might as well have.
I love it.
You might as
Oh,
well,
I
you're
love
having,
it.
You're
I'm
having piss
drinking a
water.
natural light.
I don't know why. I just got on it and it's never stopped. I don't know. It's just cheap and nice and easy, which is what I love.
You could take that out of context. Yeah, just apply
I
it
don't
to
know what's worse.
anything else.
Evan's thing
I
last
don't know
week.
what's worse, the in
Or this.
context or the out of context.
Steve, what's worse, his taste in beer or Evan's inability to cook?
Steve, what was the thing that you wanted to
Evan.
bring up?
Oh, yes. That's
I'm
a
like-
good transition, Dickie. So we wanted to get your live reaction on this, Dakota. The last
Dakota
episode, we
already knows
spent
this.
20 minutes screaming at Evan about... So at first it
No,
was...
you screamed.
He
I
has
had a mental
only
breakdown and went back
ordered
to that chair.
food. Oh yeah, Dickie could not speak. He genuinely was like... For
It's
the
Evan.
whole, the
I
whole
have low
experience.
bars on
Yeah.
personal
So
opinions.
Evan
So let's
has exclusively ordered himself food for the past 4 years.
Okay.
And then we said,
Yeah,
can
see,
you
this
cook?
isn't new information to Dakota.
And he
already knew
said,
this.
well, no, it's the extent. It's the fact that we asked you if you could cook, up to the point where you admitted you don't know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Listen,
I told other people this, and they were like, no, he was fucking with you. And I was like, no, he genuinely was trying to defend himself
How do you-
about the fact that he couldn't make himself a PB&J.
you can make
I
a
don't think he
PBJ
can.
though,
He-
right?
this
Evan?
man can't even make a bowl of cereal.
Evan, you can make a
We don't need to
PBJ.
talk
No,
about this.
no. He went through the
Actually-
whole thing saying like because he couldn't figure out the increments of it. He couldn't figure out the increments of peanut butter to jelly, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with
There's
you?
So
no
you
increments,
keep adding
just
both until
how
it's
my
Roll
brain
on the
works.
bread.
I then sent a picture to our group chat the next day of a PB&J I made, and I just was like, Evan could never.
Evan.
really? Yeah, listen, Dakota, we don't need to talk about.
If I turned you,
We
if I
do.
told you, I said,
Dude,
look,
we
okay,
still gotta.
look, so, hey, if we're roommates, right? If we're roommates, and they're
they were
roommates,
roommates.
if we're roommates, and I said, hey, Evan, I'm gonna make us some soup. Can you turn the stove on medium high, and put a little thing of water on there?
He would
Could
stick
you
his
do
dick in
that?
the oven. He would stick his dick in the oven and be like, instructions were unclear.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend told me to watch the food recently and make sure that it was cooking properly or whatever. And I was like, yeah, no, sure, I got it. there was smoke filling the air in the room, and I still wasn't sure if it was good or not.
Evan,
Here's my reasoning, though.
no.
There
is no reasoning. You're just fucking stupid.
In the air, and I'm like, okay, maybe that means that it's going good, right? That because I've seen that in like cooking shows and shit, and I'm like, all right, cool. That means. It's
here's
good,
my
right?
thing.
Like,
Here's my thing. There's the point of Evan's life where I'm like, he's just living the YouTuber life. He's like everything is content, right? And then there's like the part where I'm like, it's either that or he really is just fucking hopeless. And I don't.
I've reached that point where I think he's just fucking hopeless sometimes.
Yeah.
I think
He's
things, and I'm like,
I am not.
I thought it
hopeless.
was fine up until last week, and
I'm
then
not
I was
hopeless.
like,
I'm
no.
not hopeless. Okay, I'm not.
Because like
fucking
even hanging
hopeless,
out with
okay?
Evan, I'm like, oh, he's
Evan
just like,
shouldn't-
maybe he's just using it for content, or maybe he's like, well, it's a funny story.
I'm
But
terrified for
I think,
Evan's
I think
kids.
it's just Evan. I think
I am genuinely terrified for his kids.
like he's
I'm
gonna
not
have
gonna
a
have
child.
kids, dude. What the fuck?
You're gonna have a child. He's
You're
gonna be
gonna have a
like,
You're
child.
gonna have 3.
no.
It
Y'all do
may not
realize
be on
though
purpose,
that
but you'll have a child.
you do realize though that the point of having a child will actually be a story in itself.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He's like,
I
yeah,
can't wait to
I
figure out the
opened the
date.
condom, but like, I don't know, I didn't put it on. I just, I stuck it beside the
I
bed.
thought
I
it
thought
just
it was
needed to
for
be in
protection.
the room.
I thought it just needed to be
you know.
like there. Like I didn't think it had to be on me. I put it on my hand. I thought like that.
I
Would work.
came in her, but like I wiped it with the condom. Like I thought it would be fine.
I thought that's how it worked, right?
I
Like,
couldn't figure out the
it's
ratio of
99.9%
penis to
protection,
condom. I
you know?
just didn't.
Like, you just wipe it off, right?
God.
No, actually,
Jesus.
funny story enough. Fans actually recently bought me condoms. I'm
Good,
not kidding.
you
They're
fucking
on the-
need
they're
it.
on the shelf,
Yeah.
like right behind me.
Do you not use?
I thought you were about to
normally?
get up and get them, and I was like,
No,
we believe you.
I'm not. I'm not gonna get them. But like,
You want
yeah.
a pair of condoms?
Do you not normally use condoms?
Listen, we don't need to talk about that.
Do
But
I-
my point is,
I will totally-
You're
I
gonna
will-
have a kid, Evan.
No,
I
we do
will
it.
call, I will call Macho
We
right
do
now.
need to
I
talk
will
about
call
this.
your
All right,
girlfriend.
everybody go
Okay,
around the
all
table. Go around the
All right,
table.
you know what?
Condoms.
Fine. If you want to talk about this, all right. Yes, I have.
I will call your
obviously.
girlfriend.
I have used condoms, obviously.
Used or like used? That's not the question.
There
Is
are some instances where I don't. But I feel
God,
like
aren't they the scariest
No,
fucking
that's fine. That's
3
fine.
months
Because
of your
there's a lot of
life?
times. There's a lot of times I have not used condom too. Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
definitely
100%.
a bunch of times I've not. So like
Yeah.
it's almost like you were like thinking about it and you're not just like, yo, I'm gonna nut in this girl.
Yeah,
You're
no,
like,
no, no,
that's not a good idea.
So the best the best 4 words you could ever hear, right, is when a girl's like, "Hey, don't use protection." I'm like, "Okay, cool,"
I have
I'll
no
be
gag
careful.
reflex.
and I will pull out.
I like
Yeah,
my
that one too.
I like my four
But
better.
no,
my four are much
no,
better
no,
than
no.
yours.
So when you're in like you're doing it and like I gotta pull out, I'm super careful. I'm like in my head. I'm like, I gotta be careful. And she says, and she
you
and she
measure
goes,
the
and she
ratio,
goes, and she
you
goes,
feel it, you're like, okay.
and
how far
you're
can
like,
I go?
I'm enjoying this, like like protection free sex, but I really gotta fucking like pull out, make sure my pull out game's on.
Yeah, you really got to think about it. You have to like.
But then
legitimately think
she
about it.
whispers to you, "I have an IUD," and then you're like, "Let's go!"
Yo, I love it when I'm about to nut and a girl looks at me and she says, "I have chlamydia," and I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah, why not?"
But like, no. So like, I'm with somebody right now, and so when I'm in a relationship, I do not want to have anything happen when I have sex with somebody like a lot.
He's daddy
I am
in
like
more than one
I'm
way.
a paranoid piece of shit. I wrap it and I pull out at the same time.
I do that too. I do that too because I genuinely just want
Cross
zero
your
pain.
eyes, dot your T's, cover your tracks. I mean, I don't know.
I bet you're crossing your eyes.
I'm like the Dalmatian on fucking 101 Dalmatians that like wipes his trail
Yeah.
behind him. It's like, yeah, sure, the wind will cover it, but like I'm gonna do it anyways.
Well, no, because I had one ex that like we literally never used a condom, and that was the day. That was one of the times that I found out that guess what, you can get someone pregnant from pre-cum. Fun fact, if you didn't
Yeah,
know.
absolutely, 100%.
Read a pregnancy scare.
Those fucking overachievers in your pants are like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Like every single time I think about that, because I'm like, there's still times after that I still did the same thing. I'm like, I can go in raw dog. Fuck yeah, let's fucking go.
Well, I learned-
and every single time I'm like, I know for a fact like a little pre-cum came and like, well, we'll take that risk every single time.
There was a
interesting.
that I learned from a very early age of like getting hand jobs and blow jobs. That was like something little came out like 5 minutes before I came, and I was like, man, that's not good. I probably should remember that when I actually probably should not probably should rap it every fucking time I do it. Yeah.
And then you do it, and you're just like, nah, this is just too good.
That's the thing. That's like 100% the thing. Like boys, like
I'm
when
surprised
you
I don't have a kid.
Can go raw dog. You go raw dog because like it feels so.
I definitely only recommend
It's a
it
game
if you
changer.
have like a partner that you've been with for a while. Otherwise,
For a long time, yes.
like just
Or else you might get
please.
chlamydia.
It was
Or you're-
my high school
European
bio
pilot.
teacher,
Or stewardess.
what, one time
Yeah,
my
you're
high
never gonna
school
see her
bio
again.
teacher,
She doesn't know your real name.
what the fuck? He was like telling us to be safe, and he was like, girls, if a guy ever tells you like, "Don't worry, I don't have any STDs," just respond with, "You don't know, I don't, and you will never watch a man put on a condom faster."
That's actually funny. That is
Yeah.
actually funny.
I love how like
No,
high
because
schoolers.
that happened to me before and I didn't because I trusted her.
Oh well, wait, no, Dickie, you are Dickie never learns. That's the other theme of this podcast. Evan is
Look.
helpless, and Dickie never
Oh,
learns.
look at you guys!
Look.
You're so cute with your new little
Look.
podcast, and every little fucking host has quirks and fucking things, and that's his
Well, there's
thing.
only-
He doesn't learn.
Well, yeah, there's
Oh,
only
fucking
two.
Dickie.
Yeah, there's two hosts, and me and Evan have quirks.
Yeah, two
Steve's
hosts.
still a guest.
That if it means that if staying a guest means I don't have some kind of really sad quirk, that's fine.
Your quirks, you make me
So,
so angry every single time I have to edit you because you talk like you're from the Midwest, which means you take breaks every 5 seconds when you talk and you have to think about everything instead of just saying a solid stream of words. And I have to always cut around it, and it makes me so angry because you just.
Why are you cutting around it? I don't. When I edit, I'm like, it's a podcast.
I hate no, because I
who the
hate
fuck
pauses
cares?
and break. Because you can't do that in TV. Like you can't have long pauses. So my
This
head
isn't
goes.
TV.
I can't have. It's still a video, so my head says
It's still
you
a video,
Can't have
yeah.
pauses, and it drives me nuts when I see
It's
it. Like
it's a
because it'll be like
podcast.
there's times where you'll just take like a 4 or 5 second because you're trying to think about it, and like it's funny. It's I'm not making fun of you for it. I'm just saying like it's funny because there was we had a project and we worked with this man from Missouri. And he literally was the same exact way when he talked. And this is when I'm in Manhattan at this point. And like, we're all fast-paced talkers. We're talking like this. And when he talks, he has to think every time he speaks. And every single time, like, you do your breaks to think about what you're about to say, I'm like,
Yeah.
Missouri is coming out again. And I can feel it. And it drives me nuts. And like, I love you to death.
Because
Every time
the
I'm
thing is,
"Steven,
when I know what I'm gonna
talk."
say, it's always really fast paced. But the moment I need to start thinking of something, like trying to come up with something, it always.
You just gotta get into your like content creator mentions and just like ramble off shit like for no reason. Like for instance, I like goats. Goats are great. They're fantastic, and I love goats.
That's why you complain about me and Evan always making fun of you because like we're able to like just rattle all things off the top of our head constantly, but you have to like think about what you're gonna say. Or
Speaking of which, did you guys know that Steve has a racist dog?
He does. He actually does. He actually does.
She hates everyone
No.
equally.
just
Nah,
specifically
nah. It
people
went,
of
it
color.
went straight after Evan. It was like you could tell that dog had never seen a black person in his fucking life.
You can ask Ray. You can ask Chase. Anybody who comes to my house. The dog is
No,
so
we went to the
terrible. She
house.
doesn't actually
We went to the
attack
house. It was
anybody.
like, I gotta do my job.
She
I'll
won't
bark.
attack
I'll bark.
anybody.
Steve, it's okay. You're not racist. Your dog is. There's a difference.
No. Dogs are that's the thing. Dogs are never racist. They are taught racism.
My dog's not racist. She
Dogs
never
are not
sees
inherently
anybody.
racist. Just like people don't come out of the womb being racist either. They're taught it.
We go to Steve's home, right? And it's like, all right, cool. There's me, there's Steve, there's a bunch of other guys I can't remember. There's Evan. And everybody's hanging out there, and the dog's like, okay, I gotta do my thing. I'm gonna bark. I'm gonna defend the home. Bark, 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 bark. And sees Evan, it's like, whoa, that's new. Oh shit. And like runs after his
That's not
ass.
what happened. Evan was just standing at the front of the group. That was literally it.
So what I'm hearing is because you just said like your dog never sees people, which is fine. I get that, but the fact that it went after the black person, and it's like I've never seen people.
That was
this
a
way.
she was going after the person.
Oh shit!
The dog said.
Here's the thing. Evan just happens to be
Racist-ass
black.
dog.
I just happen to be black. I just.
This is a dog who, as she was barking at everybody, also shit on the floor because she was so terrified. Like, she just... That's just what she does. She's
Because
so
she was
scared.
terrified. She was terrified. She was scared because there was a black. She was
Of
scared because there was a
everybody.
black man in her house. That's what you're saying. You're saying the dog was scared because
No,
there was a black
that's
man
not
in
what
her
I'm
house.
saying. Luna is a precious...
It's okay.
No, it wasn't
Steve, I forgive
shaved.
your dog. I forgive your dog.
It's not the dog's fault it was raised that way. You can never blame the child.
Your
God,
dog
what?
just selectively loves people, and that's okay.
If it was...
just
If
selectively
she is racist, it is not our fault because she had different owners before us who then gave her back because she was too crazy.
So that does mean the dog could be
chance.
racist. The dog could be racist. That means.
I don't think she is.
Don't
She just
think.
barks at
I don't
everybody.
think.
That's like how every conversation starts. Look, I'm not racist, but and then they say a racist statement. That's what it feels like we're talking about.
Evan, the next Dallas trip, we're gonna stand in the backyard, all of us, everybody in the row.
See
and,
who the
like,
dog
we
attacks.
can let the dog out. We're gonna
Is
see
there
what
any other
happens.
lines?
Oh my god.
That's unironically a genius YouTube video testing to
like
see
that.
if my dog is racist.
Jesus.
Is Steve Dog's racist? And, like, we'll have all of us lined up together and have like a Photoshop picture
Steve,
of a
make
dog
your
like
dog more
barking with
woke.
a chain on
Unbelievable.
it.
Unbelievable. People these days.
So
I'm
what,
telling you,
what's this podcast about again?
Nothing.
Fucking nothing.
Honestly,
We
I'm
just
shocked
attempted-
we... Okay,
Is this
to
the
have
one you
a
shocked we
scrap?
talked
Are you gonna
about-
scrap this? Come on, let's get some talk.
No, we're not going to
topics on
scrap
here.
it. This is just
Come
what
on.
it's
We've only
like.
scrapped-
This
we've
is what
only
every
scrapped one
episode is. Like,
You never
I'm
scrap a
shocked we
podcast.
talked
Court?
about TikTok because we specifically were like, oh, we'll never talk to our guests about what they actually do.
Yo, wait. You know what's crazy though? But like, we can talk about Dakota being an editor for YouTubers.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that's a low blow.
That was fucked up.
I still edit for like two YouTubers. Let me
you go.
okay.
Who, yourself?
So like, here's a life story, right? So for the past 3 or 4 years, I've been building myself up as this editor who edits for a lot of channels, and I was really happy about it. I loved it, and as sooner or later, I said, you know what? Maybe I need a better stability job. Maybe I need like a better stability, career. So I started a landscape company. So on top of the landscape company, I'm editing for these videos. I say, you know what? It's hard to do both. I'll drop a lot of editing jobs. I'll keep the ones that I think are important, that I think that I need, and that I want to be in, and we'll move from there. So I dropped 4 and 4 anime. I dropped Anime Uproar. I dropped Hoops and Hip Hop, and I dropped a couple more. Fox and Anime. Somebody else, can't remember. And then I kept Sydney, and I can't remember what I kept, but somebody else. And then me and Sydney stopped working with each other, and then everybody else got their. I gave everybody else my jobs, and now I'm like, I kind of want to go back to editing. Now it's like, oh fuck, I have nothing else. So here I am. I got Hoops back. And I got I'm editing for Cam Steady now, doing ciphers. So I edited the past couple of Sonic ciphers for him. So there's that.
Okay. I mean, like, I would say, like, you know, being a YouTube editor is definitely different, right? Like, because like we've all done it at this point, but like, you know, comparing it to like, you know, I guess traditional media stuff, like what I've done in the past and what like Dickie still does for work, it's definitely different.
It is a completely that is 100% true. It is a completely different world. It's the same way like when you're on set for like a YouTube thing, it's very different from like being on set for like a work thing. And there's no like wrong or right. It's just like you do what you do in the situation. Like it's the same reason like you guys made a joke about like the equipment I have. Like, but I'm not gonna sit here and record like a podcast or anything on a freaking Red. It makes no sense to do that. Like
I really
whatsoever.
still think you should.
You
I
probably
really still
should.
think you should.
Maybe-
One
maybe
episode
day
you
I
should
will.
just be in 6K, and
When
then
y'all
Evan
should
and I
do the
will, like,
overachiever
record in
podcast,
7.
the
The
episode
thing
overachiever episode where y'all go above and beyond in
We
everything.
could, but like no, the thing really is like I would have like a whole entire setup like in the corner of my room. Like I have like all C-Sans and everything. I really could do it, but the thing is, the lowest quality thing. If I was to record an hour-long podcast, it would still be like 500 gigabytes, and I'm not sitting there with 500 gigabytes of like footage to edit. It's ridiculous. It's very controversial to say this. I know it, but like working with content creators and like meeting content creators in real life made me realize I really don't like most content creators.
I guess it's dependent on who you meet.
What people have to realize at home listening to this podcast is that, like, from Dickie's standpoint, it's like, because so Dickie helped out with a video.
I'm not talking about just YouTube content creators. I'm talking about content creators as in like people that are big on TikTok, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera.
So from my perspective is that you're like such in a professional, like, you know, what you do and mindset and everything that you do. When you see other people that you're like, oh, cool, other video. The first time you ever did it, probably, you're like, oh, cool. Other people who make videos, I can, you know, help them out or do something like that, or like talk to them about it. And they're doing like, you know, jerking off in the corner with a fucking, like, you know, like a fucking random camera. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, stop that. Like, focus. You know, it must have been like mind torture for you to be able to, like. I
think it was definitely like, you know, a day and night situation, because like at least when, for instance, like, I guess Dickie had helped me shoot a video, which will be released eventually. You know, there was some level of professionalism to it versus filming with,
and it was all from Dickie.
Yeah.
Where there was absolutely zero.
Oh my god.
So the point I was getting at, though,
yeah.
the point that I was getting at is that, like, Dickie is like really good at what he does, right? And like his work in a lot of professional atmospheres. So like even when he's like even just helping out as a cameraman, like when I saw you helping like Evan and like spilling the milk and all that stuff, people were coming to you for questions, even though you were just a camera guy. And you're like, oh yeah, do this, do that, you know, maybe do this over here, maybe do that over here, maybe let's do this over here, and like, you know, this scene right here, and like I'll have the camera footage for that. And it's like, as the camera guy, you were being like almost director, like somebody was like, needing somebody to come to.
I would call him the producer, honestly.
Like history and your experience and your, you know, what you do, watching YouTube creators like, you know, handle their videos and handle their, like, you know, editors or their like film cameras or whatever. You're like,
this is not how we do it in traditional media.
yeah, sure.
Well, it's funny because like I still end up there's not a single YouTuber I edit for anymore. There was a time when I was like 2 I would work for, but like I never had a falling out with them. I was just like, I don't feel like doing this anymore because I'm not getting paid enough, and like I just don't like it because like it's very similar to when I do a lot of freelance work, but like even then I don't really take much freelance work unless it's with like a producer or director I physically know when they're doing especially like corporate things, because at least I can be like, can you get this kind of footage? Can you do this? If I'm not shooting it, I would be like, okay, I can at least be honest with you and like tell, because I've ran into situations. So there was one video I worked. It was just this big project where there was a show for like specifically set up for TV. Yeah. It was editing for them, and like we found out this project went to like 3 different production companies, because it was such a freaking mess. So like they shot on 3 different cameras. 2 of them they were at different frame rates, and like there was no there were 6 episodes with content all mixed together. Nothing was like in order. It wasn't shot in order, like in order where it's like, and I don't mean like order like this scene, this thing, this scene. I mean like it wasn't shot in order where like episode 1 footage would be here, episode 2 footage would be next, episode 7 footage would be like, and it was, that took me, I kid you not, it took me like 40 hours. It took me a full week to just sort things out into bins and be like, everything goes together. Because, and the other thing is, it's because they weren't shot.
Your job. Usually they're supposed to have like someone that sorts that for you.
No, so for example, if you're on my old roommate at the time, it's funny because we always joked about this. So like before like I worked for like, bigger companies, like when I worked for production houses, when you're an editor, you're like a jack of all trades person. You were doing color, audio, and video and putting it all together. When you were working for like a production house that is doing things for television, so my old roommate, for example, was the lead assistant editor. So he's lead AE for a lot of Animal Planet shows. And it's funny because like he's like 7 people under him. So you do, in a sense, you do have the people that are like, okay, these are, you have your media loggers, so they're putting everything, like logging all the footage and everything and putting it into bins. You have the people that are like setting up the timelines and like doing all this stuff, and he's like overseeing all of that before it goes to the head editor. So it was always funny explaining it and showing to him like what the fuck I was doing. He's like, why is there no organization? And like when you were on a film set,
because that's what I'm used to as well, though, right? Like in VFX, like we'd have someone that would like set everything up for us, and then we just get everything at the end.
like you and like that's one big difference between like just running on YouTube things versus like running for like very very professional thing where it's like this is how everything works. And like it's always funny to me, like you can still run like YouTube stuff. Like I know for a fact if you shot with like someone like Marquise Brownlee or like Linus Tech Tips, I know for a fact like they have a very like it's a form of how everything is. Everything is labeled, everything is shot in order, everything is like this is how it is. But like there's a lot of times with other YouTubers that are just like, oh my god, what are you doing? How do you function by yourself that you like shot this in no way, shape, or form? And like this is no shot at anyone I've worked with.
Are you telling me there's like 5 different cameras and I got to organize like VO5 11256 115 and the other camera's labeled like, you know, fucking Canon fucking 28456 2485. These are all in the same sequence. Oh fuck.
And the worst thing is, again, because it wasn't shot in the same frames per second, it didn't match up. It wouldn't match up because like if you have 30 minutes rolling footage, it doesn't, like, it starts getting unsynced and the audio is like, no, this isn't synced. So like, you have to like keep mishmashing things all over the place. You're like, what is happening right now?
Try your hand at handbrake and hope that it could fix it.
Oh
that's,
god, yeah.
God forbid any camera needs to be
no,
reset.
I had to, I couldn't even, so the funny thing is, Evan, I couldn't do that. And you want to know why I couldn't fucking do that? And this is going to get really technical and I'm going to like be really short about this because it's going to be boring to a lot of people. But for you guys, you'll understand. It was shot in 8-bit and it was shot in log. So if I ran it through anything else, it was going to compress the flat colors, and I wouldn't have been able to color anything or anything. So I couldn't run it through.
Oh no!
And I couldn't match things. So it was just I'm kidding. It was 40 hours of me going like, oh my god, I want to die. So like I got it done, and after that I was like, you need to like figure out what projects you're doing like beforehand. But no, it just like working with some YouTubers, and it's not even that like YouTubers and like that. It's just like I've met a lot of content creators where they're just very fake. And you can read their personality so easily. Like, and we know those kind of people. Like, you just like
the worst.
They're parasocial. Like it creates it. Like you need to understand from the get go that these are not your friends. Like this is a parasocial relationship. I'm sure
100%.
Evan, people reach out to you and they want to be friends with you, and you're like, I'm here to entertain you and everything like that. And like you have to respect that as like a consumer of like things you watch. I have to respect that and be like, I'm gonna meet you. Like I met Scott the Woz, and I'm like. From the get-go, when I met him and his friends, I'm like, I'm not going to be friends with you people. And I have no interest in being friends with you people. I love the concept. Like, it would be bringing friends with you guys would be great, but I know I'm not going to be ever. I'm only approaching you as someone who is a fan of your work.
From the viewer and editing, so from viewer to creator and even editor to creator, I never want to work with somebody that, like, I don't think I can get along with in person.
Yeah.
Especially for a long period of time. I normally don't do like one-off videos of like, hey, can you edit this one video and like, you know, turn around. Like I don't do those. If I was to edit a video, I want to be working for your channel for at least like over a few months, you know, and I wouldn't work for somebody that I didn't like, can't get along with, or wouldn't pay me. So
that's the thing.
Yeah, so it's like
because you can look at it. You can look at a channel as much as you want. And like that's what happened before, where like I watched this channel for so long and I did a bunch of videos for them, but they're like, "Can you do it like this?" I'm like, "No, I can't because I'm not that editor. If you want it to look like that, you need to get that editor. Like it's gonna look different per editor, just like every movie is gonna look different per director. Like
For sure.
Evan and I could record the same exact video. We could have the whole entire same concept, shoot it exactly the same way. It's gonna be completely different though at the end of the day because we're different people.
based on the editor.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on the editor and based how you're going to shoot it yourself. Like we could have the same. If you said shoot this video about vanilla ice cream, he and I are going to approach it completely differently, completely differently. And that's what like people just don't understand that so much, and it drives me nuts. And like it doesn't matter if it's a content creator or a client or what it is. And it's like that. I've been on music video shoots where they're like, "Can you make it look like this?" And like your budget's $5,000. This baby had
No.
like $1.2 million for their music video. You think I'm going to be able to make it like that? No, that's not even remotely possible. I can come up with
No.
ideas for you, but like work within your boundaries. Which drives me nuts when you have like certain content creators that see other content creators like, I want to make that, I'm going to make that. When it's like, well, no, that person makes things like that because they have that background and they know how to make things like that. You can't just give a camera to someone and be like, go make the things and like have it be perfectly similar. It's not going to be. It's ridiculous.
So off topic. Off topic. Have y'all met content creators that you like either like have the complete exact opposite of like what your reaction was to, or did you think that like it was perfect what it was?
Like, as in, like, meta content creator that I hated?
I mean, somebody that wasn't like what you expected, or they were just exactly what you expected. Because from my experience, it was either the people that I thought I didn't like, I love, and the people that I thought I would love, I hate.
Yeah, I've definitely ran into people like that. Not in video production specifically, but in Instagram communities, like cosplayer communities and everything. I've met people where I'm like, I assumed they were going to be a giant douchebag, and these aren't huge people. This is maybe someone that has like 50,000 followers on Instagram as a cosplayer, and I'm like, every single time I saw their things, I'm like, you're a piece of shit, and you're going to be a douchebag, and I'm going to fucking hate you as soon as I meet you. And I met them, and with 5 minutes, I'm like, I just want to be best friends with you. Holy shit. And like that one of those people, like, I'm really good friends with to this day, because like I thought he was going to be a giant douche, and I'm like, oh no, we're really good friends. Like, you're a genuinely nice person. It's not just a fucking front. Because like I've met multiple people where like it's such a front, and then like as soon as you walk away, you'll hear them talk shit about someone that they just met, and I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Why do you look for drama? Why do you like?
Yeah, I don't think I've actually, like... Okay, I do know content creators like that. Obviously, I'm not going to say who they are. But I think I think most of the ones that I'm friends with and I interact with often, those are, like, the nicer people that don't do stuff like that, you know? So, like, people like Nux, great guy. But
That's the one thing. Like, if I never worked with Nux before, right? And you were gonna say, hey, next week at blank and blank con, you're gonna meet Nux Taku. If I never worked with him before or talked to him before, I would have been like, fuck that. Like, why the fuck would I want to meet Nux? But like after working with him and talking to him, I'm like, I 100% want to talk to Nux. Like, he like seems like such a fucking fun, great guy in person.
It's really funny that you bring up Nux, because like Nux is like, I've talked to Nux like one time on Discord, and I remember like after he left, I was like, who the fuck is that person? Who the fuck? I don't care who this person is. And everyone in the group chat was just laughing about it. I don't know if like Steve, you might have been there. Do you guys remember? Like, I literally met him. And I like said things to him, and I'm like, what the fuck is this person? And he leaves, and everyone's just cackling in this Discord chat because they're like, dude, that's Nux. I'm like,
Who the fuck was that guy?
I don't know who that is. And
What?
like, it's funny because like I've never personally met Nux, and I've really never had a conversation with Nux. I know for a fact like everyone has like talked to him and like talks about him. He's like, yo, he's the nicest person ever, and I'm like, I have no interest. And I know for a fact the second I would meet him,
you would not,
I would
you would not believe it from like the fucking amount. Because I met Nux during the fucking like what was it? The fucking
be toxic to toxic people, and also
the
toxicity.
toxicity, what was the other phase too? It was the Ishizuka reviewers 10 on 10 on Mao.
Yeah.
And
When he was
the
pretending
right
to be
after he
toxic for
ended.
clout.
Yeah, it was like right after he ended the what do you call it? The biggest fluxes in anime. He started moving towards like content creators.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, oh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
I still see
I feel
Nux
like
like
he'd be
tweet sometimes like certain things. I'm like, dude, you don't have to. You don't need this. You're good,
It's
bro.
weird.
You're good. Carry your own
It's
weight.
weird to me.
You got this.
Because like and it's the same thing about, I have this weird stance because it's the same thing with most VTubers.
Is that a fucking
I don't
JoJo
like
reference?
people that I don't see that they won't show their faces. And I think I always have had this thought process, because you see those really shitty trolls and everything on the internet and everything, like for years when you were little, when you were a kid, and like forums and Facebook and all that stuff. And it's always people that won't fucking show their face. It's like when I see shitty people on Facebook being like racist and awful, I'm like, I don't care what your opinion is. You have a fucking like picture of like
You have like an anime profile picture.
you have like a picture of a truck as your profile picture. I don't respect anything about you. I don't care what your opinion is. And they're like, no, I just like my privacy. I'm like, no, I just don't care about you. You're on Facebook and all this stuff already. Like,
No, I
You have no
definitely agree
grounds
with
to
that.
stand on.
exactly.
I definitely agree with that to a certain extent, right? Like I've said it before several times, and I was like, if there's one thing I'll probably get canceled for, it's this take where I was like, people that don't show their face on the internet are cowards. But like, you know, I respect you and I understand why you do it. There's a lot of scary things and people out there. I still think you're a coward though, and like those could be mutually beneficial. I could like respect you and think you're a coward.
I think the only drawbar that I have is with, like you said, VTubers and certain people that sell themselves as this one thing other than themselves. Because YouTube, and especially YouTube and internet, but especially YouTube, it's all about selling something, whether it's yourself, whether it's your content, whether it's like whatever you're putting out there. So for VTubers, it's that is it. That is there right there. That's their thing. And if they even it will harm them if they put themselves out there. If Morty Calliope was like, selfie, here I am, this is the breaking the illusion. They break that illusion.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a good
Fans
idea.
and people will go after their ass and like
Because
hate them
at that
for
point,
it.
yeah, you're not selling who you are. You're selling who Maury is. You're selling who, whatever.
Yeah,
VTuber
so
you
like
are.
it's
you
100%.
are a product now. You like
Yeah, you are 100% a product. You are 100% like that is you. Online.
nobody wants to know what the guy behind the Wendy's Twitter looks like. Nobody cares.
I mean, that's
They just
true. But
wanna
I can,
see
I
the
can think of
Wendy's
I can think of a couple
I might.
of YouTubers off the rip right now. One specifically that like we know what they look like, and they're still just as successful. It doesn't hurt that they're very attractive, but like
I mean, no, it's not as much that as much as like with VTubers. It's this. You are not being yourself. Parts of you can be in it,
That's all
but
content
you
creators.
are representing somebody else.
Yeah,
like
but
they're
that's-
representing a company at that point. And the company created a character, and just as easily as the company gave you that character, they can take it away.
I would
right?
say that's true for most.
I
content
do
creators,
love what
though.
Diggy just said. I do love what Diggy just said about like that's just content creators in general.
Yeah,
you think I go by Dickie
That is a-
normally? You think that's like my
No,
normal
but, like-
personality persona thing? It's a switch like everyone else. I just turn it on for the camera and I go. Okay, back to what I was doing.
Sure, but at the end of
What's
the
up, you
day, you
submissive
go out on
invisible
the street
box?
and people could
Oh, no, I
still
say- I
see
say that
your
on the regular.
face, right? Like,
I
When
mean,
I call
I feel like
when I call you on my phone and call you Dickie, are you not being real? Are we not friends, Dickie? In real life? We have selfies
I mean,
together,
I think
bro.
we do. I was just looking at the selfie from the car the other day, but
I know I'm looking at the same one the other day too. I was on a plane. I was on a plane last week, and like okay, so like okay, this is off topic ADHD. I'm sorry, but like on planes, I don't want to pay for the Wi-Fi because they're always short flights. So like I'm always trying to find something to do on my phone. So the number one go-to I have is organizing my photos in folders. So I have like a Nakatoto folder, I have a girlfriend folder, I have a selfie folder, I have like friends and the convention folders. But like I always like take that time in my flight to like put the pictures on my camera roll and downloads into selected folders. And yours came up of the selfie of us in the car, and I'm like, I miss them.
that's cute.
I think just flipping back to I think even when we all like as content creators put that switch on for like how like we kind of fake it on the camera, I think you're still sprinkling in bits and pieces of you. I think like
Yeah,
I think it's like
always.
baseline you, but it's
100%.
like it's like how much cocaine can I do like that, and that'll be your personality. I mean,
No, that's definitely
because
true.
no one likes a
'Cause,
boring
like-
person. You think
Exactly.
no
Like,
one's gonna want to talk to someone that goes to sheesh the whole entire time when like they're like acting, but like you watch it on TikTok and everything, you're like, oh, what a dumbass! I love it.
But that's the thing, right? Like you guys, obviously, all of you know me in person. Like I'm not like this in person at all. In person, I'm just like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
moment
no,
we
it was-
turn on
it
the
was
camera,
funny.
I'm like,
Yeah, no,
"Yo, what's
100%.
up, guys?"
There was times I would call him like, I can't tell if Evan's mad at me. You're like, no, man, I'm just tired. I'm like, why?
Because I always have the personality on for like 8 hours a day on like Twitch, right? So like whenever I get to turn it off, it's like, oh, thank God.
Even Steve is different when he's not on camera.
Being in Dallas and like coming home to the Airbnb, and like Evan's just sitting there on his fucking air mattress or on this fucking like little fucking blanket on the floor on his back, like just scrolling through video. whatever on his fucking phone. I'm like, what's going on, man? We're probably gonna do this later with everybody else. And you're like, all right, cool. That sounds good. And I'm like,
Doesn't sound right.
all right. You want to show me? You happy for that? You good?
I do have a bad habit of sounding disinterested in everything.
You really
Like, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you not want to do that? And you're like, yes, that's
You're
pretty
just like,
good. All right,
whatever,
cool.
I
Let's
guess
look
so.
up everybody else.
Well, that's
and
why
then
we
we
were
get you out
going
in
out
public.
Saturday night. We were going out Saturday night for Otakon, and I'm like, guys, what's the plan? And y'all are just like, I don't know, man, we're gonna figure it out. I'm like, can we please figure it out? I want it because
God.
3 people are texting me on what we're supposed to be doing, and no one's giving me an answer.
Do not remind me about making plans at Otakon. Jesus.
I was drunk. With
I had to fucking handle everything. I was the dad
Look,
of that trip, and I
Mess
did not
ups
enjoy it.
made me so many new friends.
No, you were
by
the
all
stepdad
these
of that
mess-ups.
trip because you wanted to do
Stepdad.
stuff and you could not do stuff. You had no
are you
power. You wanted to
talking
have
about?
power. You had no power. You're like, hey guys, we need to do this, and we're like, nah, fuck you. You're not my real dad.
No, he
Shit.
told us what we were supposed to do, and then we just didn't listen to him because
You just didn't listen, and you did what I said. You're not supposed to do this.
Every single time he said what to do, we're just like,
Fuck you,
I'm
I'm not a real
dad, and
dad.
went off and like
Fuck
did
you.
something else. Every time
I get
remember
two
getting texts from
Christmases
Steve
this
being
year, Steve.
Okay, Dickie, we're doing this. This is the plan. And I'm like, They don't want to do that. And you're like, no, we have to do this. I'm like, well, they don't want to do this, and I'm kind of with them, so we're going over there. And that's
Yeah.
every
And I'm a
single
real
time we
dad,
listen to do something, that's what happens.
Steve.
But like, I feel like mine is almost the opposite of like the personality difference thing, where in my videos I am like cynical and dejected and like at times nearly pretentious. I think maybe in real life, and I try and like be super chill, and I'm like, oh yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinions. Like everybody, just do what makes you happy. But like in a video, I'm like, if you like this, you're objectively fucking stupid, and I hate you. Like, this is hot garbage, and I hate you. And then I'm like, it was like a 6 out of 10. I didn't care that much, really.
Well, because like of everyone here, I probably text Steve the most like especially the most random things, and like the conversations me and Steve actually have are very different from like when we're on the podcast because like
You were
this
like,
is-
I fucking hate you,
this
Steve.
is-
Why are you here?
This is pretty much my personality when I talk to Steve in general too. Like I will just send him the stupidest fucking shit at all times, and he's like, but like when he's not on podcast, he plays back with it. When he's on podcast, he's just like, Dickie, shut up. We need to reel you back
Yeah.
in because it's gonna get so much
I have to
worse
play
so
the
quickly.
straight man, like, on the podcast, or, like, when I was doing stuff with Spilling the Milk, like, I always have to play the straight man. But in real life, I'm, like, just a fucking idiot. I'm a super chill, but I'm a massive idiot.
I love how you were like, wait. I took that out of context.
You got this, Dakota. I believe in you.
I know, because I thought you were like, I have to play the straight man.
Oh,
Like,
the straight man. Oh,
I
it was a
was like,
straight
why do you have
man
to play a
joke, yeah.
straight man? Like, you're obviously, it's
I-
okay to be
heard
gay.
comedy duo, straight man
It
joke.
went through my head, and I was like, maybe
Yeah.
he's not talking about
I was like,
being,
because he was like, I have to play the
That
straight
reminds
man.
me
Like,
of
why do you
the
be
sexuality.
straight on spilling the milk? You can be gay on spilling the milk, Steve. It's
Oh, no,
okay.
That was
that was
it.
the thing because like I knew exactly what you meant, but like halfway through
Yeah.
the conversation, I was like, I could make a joke right now. I'm not going to because I know exactly what
It
I'm
went
trying to
over my
say.
head. I'm like,
But I get
why
it.
the fuck is Steve having to be straight on spilling the milk? What the fuck they got against
No,
gay
no,
people? What the
I'm-
fuck?
I play the comedic duo straight man, that definition, where, like, the absurdity comes to me, and it's my job to, like, sandbag it almost and go, what the fuck? Like, I sent Dickie a picture the other day. It was made of 2 other people from another podcast, and it was the scorpion on top of the frog, and it was just one going, but surely this will ruin the podcast, and the scorpion saying, lol, Pat said, LMAO. I was like, this is you and me every episode. He going, you can't talk about this, nobody will listen, and Dickie going, lol,
LMAO.
LMAO.
Yo, let me tell you. Speaking of which, my bowel movements have been so great lately. Like I have been
Wait.
like, being really regular when
We
I
have
take
gotten
my
an entire
shits
episode. We're not talking
lately.
about shit. Why are you bringing up shit right
We
now?
were
We're
so
not
close.
recording right now.
I
No.
was-
I just want like
I was in
no,
a
no, no.
I've had a lot more
No.
Sorry,
vegetables
Evan, you're in
lately.
for it now.
I've been having a lot more
Y'all
vegetables
ever
lately,
accidentally
so, like,
not
they
take a
kind of-
shit for like 3 days?
No.
No,
shit every day too
that
much.
sounds terrifying. Like if I don't take a shit every day, I'm like something's wrong with my
I'm
body.
too. I don't either. I don't
actually-
eat. I just don't eat, or I'm just too fucking
what?
busy. And a mixture of the
do you
both.
mean you're too
and like,
busy?
and like
Shit's
2
so
days later, I'm like,
hypothetical.
oh, I gotta take I really needed to use the bathroom. When was the last time I took the bathroom? So then, like, it is the most painful shit of your fucking life. Is then.
That's the
watching-
worst though when you have like it all backed up because like that'll happen to me at cons because like I get a little nervous traveling. So like I remember
Oh, that's
when
okay, you're
I
poop
went
shy.
to no, I'm not poop shy. I'll talk to anyone.
You're poop
It was
shy.
just like I was
Shit
stressed
anywhere.
out, so like my body was just like clenching in a sense. I remember I think it was I was at Katsucon
And shyness of your poops.
and like Saturday morning, I finally get all exploded out of my ass, and I'm like, this feels so much better because like we were just going because I get what you mean, like you don't poop for a couple days because like in a sense like if you're going constantly, so like your body's like I'm not pooping, I have
Yeah.
things I need to do, but like it's the worst and the best feeling when you get that all out. But it might have also been the third days. Like I got super drunk Friday night, so like maybe that's why at Katsucon I was like shitting my brains out, but like.
Dude, the hungover shits are like the realest thing in the fucking world.
Those are the shits that you need to take off all your clothes for because you're like overheated. You're like I just need everything off me. Nothing
Evan,
could be touching me, and I need
how are
to.
you
And
doing?
you feel better.
Yeah.
Because like I told
Yeah.
somebody, they said, what's your remedy for hangovers? And I said it's the chewable tablets that you do for like stomach acid, and it's like you take a shit, and they're like, it doesn't work that fast. Like it doesn't process through your body that fast. I said no, but once you do it, it helps fucking like start moving shit through your body. It's like okay, time to go. Like start processing your fucking toxins.
Well, yeah, it's
And-
like when you're supposed to. If you're trying to take a poop, you need to like if you drink like a shit ton of water, it helps like flush it out of your system.
Yeah. So like
That's like,
100%.
taking a-
The first thing I do in the
that's a-
morning is take a hungover shit.
Right?
And it's the
Well, that's the
worst
weird thing
ever.
about like when you get really drunk, and you feel better after you puke.
Yeah.
It's weird that like when you have to like get things out of your body, you feel better right afterwards. Like when you're
100%.
way too drunk
Yeah.
and you puke and you're like, I feel better now. Just like how like you wake
And
up
you
in
go
the
back
morning
and
or
you start
something and you're all
drinking more.
cramping and you yeah, pretty much. Yo, puke and rally. Let's fucking go, boys. Puke and rally. But
For those listening
no,
at
when-
home, we do not
when you-
actually endorse that. It's probably really.
We're not
fucking
endorsing it.
terrible
We're
for
just
you.
acknowledging it. It's their own fault.
We are welcome to acknowledge it, but
I had 2 servings of G
you know.
Fuel today. I will probably shit a lot after this is over.
fuck
I
yeah,
had
Bob.
somebody
Puke and
once
rally.
tell
Let's
me-
fucking
Hey, Evan,
go,
welcome to the
boys.
shit conversation. You having fun yet?
No.
Evan's gonna,
I had
Evan,
someone
you're gonna get a nice
legitimately
video call
say to
from
me
me while I
one
poop.
time, like, "Oh, G Fuel's like the healthiest thing that you could drink," and I was just
Yeah,
like,
who the fuck said that
"No."
on here? And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Is it one of you two said
Yeah.
it? Because I've never had G
No,
Fuel.
no, I would have
probably
said it
Advocate
in relation to
sponsored.
somebody else saying it, and I was like,
That doesn't
"No,
sound correct. You know what's the healthiest thing to drink? Water.
water."
Water,
like somebody
literally the
else-
fucking clearest thing.
Well, yeah, 'cause, like,
that's the base. That's the
fucking-
base of
yeah.
everything.
That's the funny thing. Like
Do that.
juice is healthy, but it's only healthy in small dosages because it's so much sugar and things
Super
in it.
sugar,
like
yeah.
if you have pure orange juice, it's good for you, but there's still so much acid and sugar in it naturally that it's bad for your stomach after you have like one glass. And you're like, oh, this is
And
way too much.
teeth.
Like you're only supposed to.
There's
have,
like nothing
Yeah.
that's actually good for you. Fuck you. You're gonna die. Like that's
yo, you know what's great
every
for
time
you?
you learn more about
It's all downhill from
like
27.
food. Yeah. Every time you learn more
I
about
found
food,
2
it's
gray
like,
hairs. I'm already
actually-
wanting to fucking like shoot myself.
I mean, you're like 40, so like it's fine, Dakota.
Yeah.
I act like I'm 40.
Daddy Dakota, dude.
I drink natural light and watch Andy
Daddy.
Griffith and Dean Martin.
That I would I okay. What's the hypothetical of this week?
What is a hypothetical?
All right. So
Steven?
hypothetical for this week. We're
Ooh,
starting.
is that a
cult.
thing? Is that a thing? Is that,
That
is
is-
it a
Yeah, we should probably
podcast
explain
thing?
this
Is
to
it a
our guests because
podcast
we
thing?
explained it to
Oh
G-
yeah.
we
So
explained it to GB, but
Dakota,
never-
since you've never listened to our podcast, apparently,
What a shitty friend.
Never.
at the end of every single episode, we ask a hypothetical question, and we all take turns answering it. But this week, I wanted to try something a little different, a little more fun. I like to
Take
do
off our
this every
pants?
once in a while. This week,
Got it.
together, our hypothetical is we're starting a cult, and we gotta figure out the
Take off those
guidelines
pants,
together.
baby. Oh, fuck yeah.
So we gotta figure out what our cult is about, and how we're gonna get people to wear. He actually did take off his pants. Jesus Christ.
Did. That's all I need.
Okay, step 1 in the cult: no pants. Dan answers
you know
No,
that
the
your
well,
question.
just remember,
develop until you're adult?
2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago at this point, you specifically said I'm the person that finally has pants on for the podcast. That was my title.
That is true.
And that was actually true.
And it was
Which
very
is
So when
wild.
do I get
Viewers,
to
it
be
was
back
true.
on the podcast to actually talk about relevant shit? Because we've just been bullshitting the whole around the whole, which
That's
I'm
the whole
100% okay with.
podcast.
No, it's
That's
not,
the
it's not about
podcast,
having a good
Dakota.
podcast. It's about having an attempt of a good podcast. Attempts were made here tonight.
Yeah.
We actually talked about some good
Awesome.
stuff here. You know, we talked about
Sometimes.
the difference between YouTube and
And
TikTok
shit.
and the shit.
We
Shit.
do
was-
That's
talk
every
about shit
episode.
as always, so you know it was a good podcast.
Yeah.
All right,
that's-
so what was the question again, Steve? I wasn't listening.
Yes, that's the hypothetical is we're going to start a cult together, and we
Got
need to
it.
figure out what the guidelines are and what we're worshipping. And so, I guess the first question for any cult, the most important, is: are we just going to offload the worship to a fictional god, or are we reincarnations of something? Is it towards us, or is there a being that no one can prove?
We are creating our own god, but the god is actually technically just us.
Smart. Okay.
I want to say energy, but that bullshit ass crystal energy, as in like
Yo, Hellzorb.
something good finally happened to me, and I want to thank all my God
Hellzorb.
and my absorb. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So like for example, I worship the fucking good energy in my life the whole entire 6 months of my dedication. And then, like, I win one lottery ticket, and it's like, oh, shit. Thank God my fucking worship worked. Holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
awesome. Let's go. That's
But how are we making money on that? What are we selling to the people?
Yo, crystals. Easy.
To
crystals.
crystals is
Yo, geocrystals.
Cardboard
selling-
cutouts.
so-
we
no,
worship
you're
cardboard
selling
cutouts.
yeah.
of
them
our
Everybody,
crystals.
fictional
everybody
god
can get
characters.
crystals from anywhere, right? Anybody can get a crystal from anywhere. We need something only we're
No,
selling.
geocrystals.
Are those like witch crystals?
No, jack off crystals. So like every time you jack off, it brings like positive energy to it. This is a legitimate thing, by the way. People actually buy these things. They're called jacking off. They're geocrystals, and you just jack off, and it brings positive energy to it, and it's supposed to like help
The
you.
only crystals I can think of, so like one of my exes, she was into that witch shit. She'd always talk to me about her crystals and energy and shit like that. And I was
Same
like, wow,
idea.
you're very white. But like, you know,
Yeah.
I love
I thought
Stevie
it was more
Nicks.
like that.
I love Steve. It's the same idea, Evan, but to charge it, you instead of like
Putting
Yeah,
out the
face of the moon
moonlight
or
of a
whatever,
full
yeah.
moon,
Jerking
you just
off.
jerk
you're
off on
jerking
it
off.
to the
you
right
have to hang out with your bros
H
and
haven.
jerk off together.
I don't want
Yeah.
to be a part of this cult.
You sure?
Well, too bad.
Very
You're
sure.
already in it.
It's too bad.
Very
You're-
sure.
You don't have to
I
participate
don't
in it.
know.
You're just
No.
you're just a leader that's getting money from it.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah, you
sure,
don't jerk
as long-
off on the
We're not
crystals, you just
actually
teach
doing
people
anything.
how to
We're
jerk
just
off on
making
the
money
crystals.
off it.
It's
I
ironic
mean-
that it's ironic that the furry doesn't want to be part of this. I thought
you
he
a
would have some
fucking
furry
furry?
agenda.
I am not
Yeah.
furry.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
a
He's
fucking
a furry.
freak.
He's a furry.
I am not. Wow,
That's
I'm
the
the
lore of
freak
the,
here.
that's
I'm
the
the
lore of
freak
the
here.
podcast.
He is
I'm
a
sorry,
confirmed
Schwabby.
furry.
You fucking freak. Absolutely, Scott. I thought I knew you. I thought I fucking knew you.
Your wife
Turn
is
out you're-
Nagatoro.
Your
Yeah.
wife was a child.
At what point? Oh, can we talk about the fucking like TikTok trying to cancel me?
Wife was
What?
a
So,
child.
like-
Cut it up. Yeah.
So we know that Dakota's thing is legalizing anime
characters? Yeah.
child anime characters as waifus.
So like, I had like a fucking moment on TikTok where I was like, oh cool, everybody also loves. So, it's a weird thing because like, when we grew up liking anime. Sorry, Dickie, that you're outside of the conversation. When we grew up liking anime.
Oh shit! Okay,
Oh, I love Haruhi. I love like all these other anime characters.
Oh, he's actually leaving.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
not wearing pants, so this is
I
weird.
know. Ooh, look at that.
What is he-
dick
what- I hate
outline?
it- I hate
the
it.
dicky
Dance.
outline.
I part of the really conversation. hate it here.
I had to come over here while you guys had your conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not part of it apparently.
So yeah, because we're talking about
okay.
anime, it needs to be far away.
Ah, you're
Please
right.
keep talking to us while you're
Actually,
that far
wait, no,
away.
this is relevant to what we had talked about last week, so you can come back, Dickie.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
No, like so on TikTok, I posted a picture of like I posted a video saying like, oh, I own this Nagatoro cutout. I also own a lot of the manga and this cool mouse pad of all the screenshots of the manga. And like I said, that's pretty cool. And like it was like literally nothing sexual, no nothing. Just I like Nagatoro, I like the anime, I like the manga, right? Then like a lot of the comment section was like, "Yo, you fucking freak for liking that fucking child." I'm like, "Time out, time out, time out." I'm like, what did I do wrong here? I'm like, I've done nothing wrong except for show a cool item merch that I have of an anime that is popular right now that everybody else watches. What's going on here? Like, it was
Look,
fucking
man,
weird.
when it comes to lollies and everything, I treat it like Palestine and Israel. I don't want to touch it. It exists, and I'm not touching it. So, back to the
like-
cult.
Okay,
Back
fine.
to our cult.
Back to
We'll
our
save it for
cult.
the next podcast.
We're not talking about that on the next podcast.
What a
Back to our
crazy
cult.
subject that the safe thing to go back to is a cult.
I think that right. What would
We
I
gotta
add into
rewind
this-
to the cult.
What would I add to this cult? I think of in Fallout New Vegas. I don't know if anyone here has played Fallout New Vegas. You know when you're in Freeside and there's like the king and like all those Elvis people. That's kind of what I think. Like when I think of a cult, like I think that's such a fucking cool concept of a cult. So
You
like
want something crazy.
I want something like I was gonna say the village people. I need a cult like surrounded by the village people, and it needs to be all about the fucking village people. So like if you were part of this cult, you need to dress up as like one of like the 5 or 6 different costumes that they wore, and that is your like that is different houses. So like you were part of the
village
village
cult?
people cult. You're the village cult, and like you gotta have the mustaches, but like
When I think of cults, I think of like cults from like The Following, where like the cults in that show were cults of serial killers, which was just I love that show.
Yeah.
But
Cults
like
of
it starred
per- like
Kevin Bacon, by the way.
personality like that.
But yeah, so like that's what I think of when I think of a cult. And I don't want a cult like that, unfortunately. But like if I had to have a cult, I would definitely say maybe a cult that's worshipped Hestia or My Valentine from Yu-Gi-Oh! As much as I do.
yo, Hestia does have the best Chestia.
That's
She
true.
does.
She is
And you
Hestia.
could get away with like just making it roundabout and like doing the Greek god, like pretending like it's the Greek god, but like in your head, everybody's actually worshiping my waifu. Yeah,
It's
you
true.
could like actually just be like, no, this one god is real from this pantheon, and we're all worshiping the goddess of the
mean,
hearth for sure.
Evan, to be fair, you kind of already run your own cult when you have your Sunday services about like blessing the thighs. Cults don't have
That's
to
true, Evan already
specifically
has a cult.
Cults don't have to always specifically be about making money. It could be just
Isn't raw
about some
hot dog?
weird concepts. Like I have my cult already. You kind of have a cult in a sense already.
So we all making our own cults?
Yeah,
we
it
kind of moved to
evolved
that.
into
So
everybody's
we,
making their own cult.
Yeah.
I have so my cult is the village people. You are pretty much part of the village people, and you have a mandatory dress code of dressing up as one of like the 5 or 6 costumes that they have. But yeah, that your whole entire life is like devolved, or like just revolved around that. Like that is your person. Like you are not a person anymore. You are a village person.
You are you are no longer a person. You are a village person.
I don't know if I scared him off or he's gonna come back as a
I don't know. He walked in
Gone
with a
again.
raw hot dog, so I don't know what to make of that.
I don't know either. Fun fact: speaking on village person cult, I always do the same kind of costume for Halloween. It's either a police officer or a cowboy, but I always have a mustache, and I always call myself either like it's got to be like it's like Officer Skinny Penis or like Sheriff Skinny Penis. And now
What are you
Dakota's raw dogging some meat. Let me tell you.
Chicken and rice.
So what is
Okay,
your
because
cult,
in the
Dakota?
lighting, it looks like you have a plate of just raw ground beef, and that's what you're
Also,
eating.
I had a raw hot dog like a second ago.
Yeah, was that raw, or like did you at least microwave that?
My cons.
I sell religion, but like not the good kind of religion, the kind of like, hey, you'll move on to an afterlife that's on a different planet or some shit, and then you live there for the 20 years to do the same shit over again.
Pretty sure that's called.
and
That's
let
why
me
we have the Protestant Reformation.
Yeah, so like it's like a
What? No.
That just sounds terrible if you're just living in a perpetual loop.
Yep. But people get off on that shit. They want a sense of the afterlife, but hey, no afterlife. I get a new planet.
So like they're pretty much just they're in purgatory for like ever.
20 years, then they go back.
20 years
Okay,
dungeon.
wait. Do they go to a different planet, or do they get their own planet?
They go to a different planet. We're not Mormons.
Are they
Okay,
all,
I was
like-
about to
are
say
they-
because the other one is Mormonism. Interesting fact: Mormons believe that if you are a good enough person, you get your own planet afterwards.
Wait, are you by yourself on that planet?
No, you're like a god of a planet. You're a mini god, like of a
Oh.
planet, basically.
So we got yours, we got mine, we got Steve's. Are we done?
No, I never said mine. What?
So we're done.
Funny how we assume that.
You make fun of me for not answering questions, even though I always do, and now you're trying to cut me before I answer the
No,
question.
It's actually funny you say that because last time, there was another time I think I was talking about like living in a TV show or something like that, and me and Evan ripped it off. Like we knew exactly what we were
yeah, I
saying.
just couldn't
and then you
think of
didn't,
one,
you couldn't
dude.
do it, which is so funny because like the week beforehand we called Evan a coward for not being able to answer like
Not
what would you buy with
answering.
$1 million.
Based on past successes of
Well, everyone, that is all the time we have for this episode of Attempts Were Made. Thank you so much for Dakota Broski for being here. We had a lot of fun talking about, God, I don't even know what we talked about, but it was a good time. So, from like as always, subscribe to our channel, follow us, like us on Twitter,
Kiss Danny DeVito in the mouth.
kiss Danny DeVito in the mouth. And we're going to have a freaking great time. If you want to learn more about Dakota Broski and his TikTokness, we will link that in the bottom. And as always, attempts were made. And we will see you next week.
Sayonara, see you later, Shinpaku.